Alright, hello and welcome to a review video of Akatsuki Lord of the Dawn. Um, I've been playing this for about 4 hours, and I'm not completely finished with the game, but I've reached the point where I'm not gonna play anymore. And the reason for that is because I got to the quests at this point in the game where I had to build stuff, and I don't want to build things. I don't like going and finding the items to build specific items, and it's just something that I just decided I wasn't going to bother doing. So I know I'm pretty close to the end of the game. I just decided I'm not going to really go to it anymore. But that being said, the 4 hours that I have played it have been a very enjoyable game. It is very... I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. The game is not particularly deep. As you go to new islands, you can have quests, and the story kind of plays out in the way that we're seeing here. And the general gist of it is you play as Ark, Ark Madonna, who is Madonna's sister, which may or may not be the actual truth of the situation, but it's resonated with me, and that's what I've stuck with it. It's Ark is Madonna's brother. That's why they call him Madonna. It's obviously not the real story, but that doesn't really matter anyway. You're Ark Madonna, the world is going bad because there's monsters and everything, and you're of course the guy that can save the world. And you get you build yourself an army, you go to the different islands, you kill enemies, you do quests. And, the story kind of plays out in the way that it does. Outside of this, there's very little interaction with there's no interaction with your characters outside of actual combat, so you're not going to find a deep RPG system or anything like that here. This is very, very much a kind of casual game. I don't even want to say casual strategy game, because it really isn't. It's just straight up a casual experience, which isn't bad at all. It's a decent casual experience. The game is enjoyable. It is fun. I think it's probably best if you play it in probably shorter bursts, probably no more than 30 minutes at a time, because if you play it for a longer period of time, you really start to notice that you're doing the same thing rather consistently all the time, and that even though you go to a new island, not really much has changed. And so it just kind of becomes really redundant. But if you look past that, it's okay. That's kind of the thing. I just got this quest, and I just hate doing these quests, which is why I've decided to kind of stop where I am. And it's because I have to go craft a bunch of silk robes or whatever. It kind of shows you a problem with the kind of hits, the game in a way, because these quests of actually having to make things, they give you the incentive to go and find stuff to kill and whatnot, but it's just not very entertaining to go and do all of that, because it's yeah, I'm gonna build all the things. But anyway, we'll go and show that anyway. Show off all the different things we got. We got our map ability. Anything shaded means it's not something I have. If it is something you have, you can construct something. The vast majority of the game is going to consist of you coming here, choosing your party. You can have multiple decks, so if you have different characters you like to play with, you come in and you can also use different formations. Your characters have cards that the cards become this ability for them to attack enemies in specific ways and everything. So that is a useful aspect and everything. And as you see, I've saved this. It's now like that. And if I had the items, which I do in this case, I could create something. And what will happen here, let's say I'll just do the Hunter's Hut. It'll actually level up, or begin to level up your town, and you can start connecting a bunch of things with roads and everything to make your town stronger and better, which has some kind of purpose. I don't really know what it is, because I never really used it. It just never really seemed to matter. The party screen is where you get to come here and choose what you want to do with your characters. If you have equipment, you can have them equip things. There's actually quite a bit that you can pick up. A lot of these items are things that I've found as I have played. They are things that I have found through, basically killing enemies, and they drop items, or I have gone through and created it myself. So that is a pretty cool aspect, that you can find different items like and do all those things. And as they level up, you'll get different talents and stuff like that. You can enhance them, which is leveling them up here. You can rank up, which allows them to go all the way to level 99. Once they hit 99, you can change their class. The class is going to be dependent on what you have unlocked. That's the gist of the party screen. You can also change the formation, or you can assign different formations that allow you to do your special ability. You can change who's in your party. You can change it as you please. It's very simple to just kind of move people in and out. And it's really just kind of, make a decision on what you want to do. And the top row are the characters that you will be using these spells for. So it's kind of beneficial as time goes on to kind of see how they do. Like, my Friar is essentially useless. I've kept like the same row pretty much the entire time I've played because I've grown to feel accustomed to this team layout. Like, I like them. If you die during battle, it's no big deal. You just kind of lose whatever you were trying to earn, and you move on with life. The guild bulletin board is where you get your quests. Quests that have different types of rewards. This piece of paper is used for upgrading, so I usually will accept these whenever I see them so I can do the upgrades and whatnot. You can also come here and employ new characters. Depending on the island you're at, you may see some different choices. And the days can pass. If you fail a quest, like it just popped up there, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. This industry menu is where you can craft certain items. Like, I have that quest of, what is it that I have to do? I have to build 10 silk fabrics. So, it's probably in clothing. Then we get some magic material. You can you have to come over here and click on this stuff to actually see what it is. Which I don't think is like the most ideal way to do it. I don't even have enough. I can make some. I can come back and do it. As you craft things, you do start to get some skills, I guess is a good way to say it. So that's kind of cool. You can also make some magical items for your characters to hook them up to be a little bit more powerful, potentially. Like, I can give somebody something. And then we get our research. The research isn't really very in-depth. There's not a whole lot going on. I've unlocked almost everything. I haven't unlocked everything because I didn't really need to, but since I have so much money, we might as well. There, I've unlocked everything. Huzzah for me. But you've got a bunch of different things that you'll start off by doing, and all these are going to give you the ability to grow, not grow, but construct buildings that are going to give you assets at the end of every day and stuff like that. You can freely go back and forth between all the islands, which is cool, and you can also sell a bunch of items that you don't want if you want to, which you could use to level yourself up a little bit if you wanted to, which is these little flag things. So it's something that's not worthless. I mean, it's definitely something that can be done in a rather positive way. But like, they want me to build like a whole bunch of stuff, which I don't have because I need to kill like essentially a bunch of monsters to get the items I need. And that takes time. So I'm using the auto battle system because it kind of just makes this whole process go by a little bit faster. Because after you've done it like a few hundred times, you start to realize that it's kind of essentially the same stuff every single time, and it gets kind of monotonous, which is like the only downside to the game that I've really run into is that the game does overall a good job to be pretty entertaining, but it also fails a little bit to really make itself stand out as something that is going to be long-lasting. It's certainly a game that you can play, you can do these things, you can build like all these different assets that are going to passively create items that you'll get at the end of every day. I like that you can freely jump between all the different islands, because being able to, jump between the different islands is super useful. It allows you to, go and focus on maybe some easier battles because you just want to grind some specific things. We can, like I said, we can build all these roads to make our towns a little bit stronger. There's a lot of different things going on that you can do that are well done. Like, the game does a good job giving you kind of a lot to do, lots going on. But at the same time, it does get a little bit on the old side, and it can become a little bit difficult to really want to keep playing after a certain point, which is like the problem that I've run into, because again, like I said, I don't really care for these quests where I have to build items, because the way to build items is to go through, do the combat, and it's the same time every single time. There is never really any difference to it. There are a couple of times where you're going to run into a boss, and the boss battles, they're the same. There's nothing different about them. I originally thought I was going to go through, play, and just essentially build something on every single tile, and just be like, you know what, I'm just going to keep building a bunch of... I'm going to unlock every single location. I'm going to build a tile in every... I'm going to construct something in every place, which will give me, a bunch of items. I can go through, play a little bit every day, get a whole bunch of assets. But it didn't happen. Because unfortunately, I just kind of reached a point where I was like, I'm doing the same thing consistently. It's very much the same stuff. But this is what I wanted to show off. At the end of every day, you will get to see different things that you are getting. So like Globe Island generates a little bit of cash, and I get some stuff. Ellendale Island, which is the first one where I have most of my construction in place, and so this is everything I get at the end of every day, and etc, etc, etc. So all of those are pretty useful to help kind of progress things into the game, to finding a bunch of different stuff. You do get achievements if you unlock everything on the island, so I guess I could encourage you to do that if you would like, but it's by no means required. Anyway, that's really the gist of it. I mean, like, overall, like, just to kind of sum things up, like, when I'm making the video now because I have a lot of other games I'm playing for this month, I don't know if I want to actually finish the game, because I'm just consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's not like there's anything new that the game feels like it has to offer me. So this is something if I do keep playing it, it's going to be something I play every once in a while, for a couple of minutes at a time while I'm doing something else, like watching a movie or something, because it's very much a game that doesn't require any thought. So I still am not sure that I'm actually going to completely finish it, because, like I said, at this point, I've kind of reached the point of being like, pretty much done with the experience. So anyway, so that's it. That's why I'm making the video. The gameplay aspect is, as you've seen, it's very, very simple. Like, there's not a whole lot to it. It's move around on the map, pick places. It's, this portion is relatively intuitive. Building items, or, building different things is No, it's pretty decent. It makes sense. It is not a bad thing at all. Like, I um, think they do a good job with this aspect, um, to be able to kind of, create a better building, or not better building, but, to increase our little villages area, or I don't know, make it a stronger town or whatever. I still haven't figured out what it does, because I really haven't done much with it, because it just doesn't feel like it really matters. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, the gameplay aspects there, it gets repetitive really quick, but if you look past that, it is relatively satisfying. I do like that we have a lot of customization with equipping our party members, choosing who we're going to take, and doing all of that. Like, it does give us, quite a bit to do. I'm just gonna try to level up this town really quick. You could turn off the auto mode if you wanted to, and you can kind of walk around on your own to do the attacks. I don't really think it's necessary. I don't think it's going to add too much to the gameplay to make it actually worth it. I mean, but it's something you have the option to do if you wanted to. Some people might be like, I would much prefer to do that, but one thing to note is, as you go through and defeat these areas, if you go ahead and build something on it, you are not going to be able to go back through and fight any enemies on it, so you may want to keep that in mind as you play. What you build is going to be somewhat important for the future of being able to do things on that island. The graphics, we'll just go with the graphics. I think the animations are cute. Like, there's not like a whole lot going on, but the characters look good. The animations are fine. There's a pretty decent amount of enemy variety, I think. And the overall setup of everything looks good. Like, the game does look very nice. Like, I definitely enjoy the graphics. Sound-wise, it's been a little bit of what I would consider a disappointment, because the music tracks often feel like they're 10 to 15 second loops that just kind of continue onwards and onwards. Like, I kept hoping that as I went to new islands, I would get more music choices, but I didn't. So it feels very limited in that aspect. But, looking past that, I think it does a great job. It's not like a bad tune. The music is nice. I just wish there was more variety. You do have all these achievements, which you can also use. So I don't really find them to be all that important. This is like a good way for me to look and figure out like how much time I have left. And essentially, I have the island I'm on now and one other island. So I know that I'm pretty close to the end. It's just, again, I just don't have like the real incentive to do it, because I've already experienced everything there really is to play, to do with the game. Like, it's a little bit unfortunate that, it doesn't have that ability to really kind of suck you in all the way. Or it will. It's going to be one of those games that either is going to completely pull you in to play for a longer period of time, or it's not. Like, I think there's no real middle ground there. And yeah, that's really the gist of it. I mean, overall, I don't do numbers for games because I feel like that's a silly system. I can just say that, yes, I've enjoyed it. Yes, I think it's worth it. I did buy the game. I decided to buy it because, I didn't save it. What a terrible choice I have made. Oh, good. Autosave. Thank goodness for that. But Zoo Corporation actually had reached out to me and encouraged me to review this game, and sent me the links to apply for a key. But I decided, since I received Mystic Gate from them for free, that I should buy this instead, and I'm happy with my purchase. And I think that if you were to buy it, you would be happy with it as well. Anyway, the game is available on Steam, which is the version I played. It's also on Switch, which I don't have and I didn't play, so I can't really say anything about that, other than saying that it is available on the Switch as well. The link is in the description if you'd like to take a look at it and see if it is a game you would like. You can always wishlist it, pick it up at another time if you like. It is going to be something I recommend. I'm going to go write my review for it now on Steam, and overall, I definitely recommend it. I think it's a good game. It is an enjoyable experience where you can just kind of shut your mind off and just go in and play. Once again, I think if you play for smaller, increments of time, you're going to have a better time overall, as opposed to trying to binge it. So, anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Thanks to Zoo Corporation for reaching out and recommending this for a review, because I had a good time with it. And thanks to you, the watcher person, the viewers. Yeah, I had struggle the morning. Can't figure out what to say. Goodbye.